So on the 99 Civic, starts up fine, it idles fine, but once you press the gas, it wants to stall. Maybe it starts out a little rough, but so like you see here, it idles fine. I'll pop the hood and show you guys. So the first thing I thought that it would be was the ignition coil. So I already tested it and I found out that it was good. So I'm just gonna move it and show you guys what I'm talking about. So put it in reverse, whatever. It rolls fine, nothing happens. It's not even gonna die now, but you'll see once I put some gas on it. Oh. It's actually fine there. Oh. So it's actually running fine right now. Yesterday when I checked it, it smelled like gas, and it was kind of running weird. So like I said, whenever I press on the gas, it wanted to stall, but it seems fine right now. There's still a check engine light, but I'm gonna take it for a drive around the road to see if it's fine now. So yeah, like I said, it was smelling like kind of like bad gas yesterday. So I was planning on changing the fuel pump because, the fuel filter, because I was thinking that it was just all clogged up, but it seems to be running fine. So I'm gonna take it for a spin, see how it does really quick. Okay, now it's kind of doing it. Oh, you guys will see. See, there you go. See, it just died. So I guess it's not running fine. Let's try start it up. Uh-oh. There you go. Yeah, so I guess it's not running fine. I'm just gonna try and get it back where it was. Yeah, it really wants to die. I'm gonna go get fuel filter. This thing looks pretty nasty, so I'm gonna guess that this is the reason it's doing that. The lines don't look like they're in great shape, but I don't think that's the cause of it. They look like they're all intact. If that doesn't work, I guess we're gonna move on to the next thing and see what happens, but I'll come back to you guys when I get the new fuel filter. All right, so I went to Napa, got the fuel filter. It was $12, so he was like, there's a $32 one and the $12 one. I was like, all right, give me the 12. So, looks a little bit different, but seems like the right size, I think. I'll pull it out and make sure, but so there's you need a 17 on top, a 14 on the bottom, and then a 10 for, I don't know if you guys can see it, a little strap on the side that holds this piece on. And a bunch of paper towels, so in case there's fuel pressure. I'm actually gonna release some of that by opening the fuel tank up, the gas cap. I don't know, that's just what people have said. Yeah, you heard it. Well, I heard it. A little bit of a like air coming out noise. So I'm gonna go get the right stuff and then I'll take that off. Also, before you start, you're gonna want to disconnect the battery because you don't want it to spontaneously combust, all that stuff. So yeah, just want to make sure it's not gonna touch anything. All right, first we're gonna take off this top 17. Yeah, this thing has not been changed in a while. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, so make sure. Oh my gosh. I don't want to like break it. Oh my god. Finally got that one loose. See, it still squirted a little bit of fuel. So let's take this off. Alright. This is loose. So there's a bolt and then a washer. You don't want to lose the washer. I like to put my stuff on the like side rails right here, just so I don't lose them. So here's one for the top, and then the one for the bottom is on here already. Okay, make sure you don't lose those. They look to be the same size, so I don't think it's a big deal if you mix one up. But now we're gonna do the bottom one. I actually don't really know where it is. Oh, you need a wrench. I'll show you guys. Sorry. You need a wrench for this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that. Alright, so you guys can see right here. Just gonna unbolt that. And then the last thing, which is the strap. I'll show you guys when we get to it. So I'll take this off right here. It's just with a wrench. So as you can tell, this has not been changed in a really long time. I mean, I'm putting like all my force in here. This car has 138,000 miles. I'm sure it's been replaced once, but man, this is really hard to get at. I'm also hoping while I do this that, I'm pretty sure that's the fuel return that I'm unscrewing, but it's also like constantly leaking. So I really hope it's just the fuel pump leaking out what it has in it and not gonna be like a constant fuel thing, because that would really suck. So I guess we'll see as we go along. Okay, so I'm really feeling like that's a constant fuel source because I just pulled it out and it just kept leaking. So I'm gonna go do some research and then I'll check back. All right, so I looked into it and apparently you can just take it off. So I'm just gonna put a few more paper towels under it and see what happens. I mean, here, I can take it off by hand at this point. I don't know if you guys can see. There you go. So I'm just gonna take it off with my hand. So now it's out. Maybe not. I don't know what's going on. I'm not tightening it. Oh, I am. Oops. That's probably why it's not coming out. Wait, no. Wait, yeah, it was. So let's see. I think it's gonna leak, but it's just what they did. I hate doing stuff with fuel, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's the fitting's all the way out. The line is still in there, so, and it's not coming out. So I think I'm just gonna undo the band and try and pull it out, the whole fuel filter off, and see what happens. So this one is a 10 mil. It is, I don't know if you guys can see. It's not focusing, but it's in here. Screw has a washer on it. Try to make sure you don't lose that. I'm gonna put it over here with the rest of the stuff. Take this bracket off. It's just to hold the fuel filter on. And now we're gonna see what happens. Okay. Yep, so it was just leaking what the old fuel filter had in it, so that's fine. So we're gonna compare this one to the new one. I'd say that looks pretty much the same. The dimensions are a little bit different, but I think it'll work. The new one's a little bit bigger, but I'm just gonna throw it in there and see if it works. At this point, it was $12. If it doesn't work, I'll just return it. Okay, so now what I think I'm gonna do, oh, there's a little bit of something in there. I'm gonna try and get that out. There's just like a little string. Yeah, the holes, I mean, it's a little bit bigger for sure. I mean, unless it's just in my head, which it could be, but this is the best angle I can get. So I'm just gonna start off by putting this hose in here, the bottom. So I don't really remember how this went in here. Just like that. And I'm just gonna screw in the bottom a little bit. If it goes in, hopefully it does, because if not, I need a new one. Alright, yeah, it's screwing in. So I'm just gonna screw in the bottom one. The way that I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold the bottom fitting and then spin the whole fuel filter, because that is way easier. I'm actually gonna just screw the top fitting in before I put the bracket in, just in case I have to take it out, something goes bad, you know, just to make it a little bit easier. And it's been a total pain because it keeps moving around, so it's gonna be a lot easier if it's just in one position, and so that way it doesn't move all around when I'm trying to put the washers back on. So, got it in. I'm gonna put the top in, reconnect the battery, and see if it starts, and hopefully it didn't like break something. Okay, this was being a huge pain. So the washer under, it just kept falling off and it wasn't lining up, so I ended up just having to leave it aligned like this because it didn't want to go in this thing right here. So I'm just gonna tighten it up a little bit more. Not too much, just snug. Looks like most of the fuel that spilled dried. So I think I'm just gonna move all the tools out of here and try and start it up. I hope nothing explodes. That would suck. But we're just gonna see what happens, I guess. There's nothing else we can do. Please don't explode. Okay, cool. Okay, to be honest, this didn't want to get tight back on the terminal. But okay, let's see if this explodes. Please don't. Let's see. Prime the fuel pump. Let's see. All right, well, the check engine light went off. That's really good. Let it run for a second, see if there's any leaks. It doesn't look like there's any leaks. Looks pretty fine to me. I'm gonna let it warm up and see if it drives fine. All right, let's see. Nope, still the same thing. Just weird because the check engine light turned off but that's all right. This is still the thing that I should have done because it was really old, so I'm fine with that. So I decided I'm gonna try and check the spark plugs. My reasoning behind this is these wires look pretty new. There's no cracks in them or anything. The distributor looks pretty new. The ignition coil inside when I pulled it looked pretty new. So I don't think it's anything like that. If it's not the plugs, my next course of action is gonna be, it's called the IACV valve. It's the idle air control valve. It's on the back of the intake manifold. So I'm gonna try that. If this doesn't work, if the plugs are fine, so what you do, you need a 5/8 socket with an extension. I'm just gonna pull these out. If they ever come out. Jeez. I don't know why this is happening. Because it shouldn't be. Jeez. I shouldn't be just pulling up the rubber. The whole thing should be coming off. I don't know why it's... Cool. It's wet. It's pretty gross. So, I'm not really too sure what's happening. I'm gonna go grab some pliers. So, don't do this. Could probably damage something, but why? Gosh. Really doesn't want to come out. Alright, I got it. Freaking fine, jeez. Hopefully I didn't. Oh, well, I did break something. Oh, jeez. I don't know how I'm gonna get that out. For some reason, it just snapped off in there. But okay, let's try the next ones. This one's the same case. I'm gonna try and do the same thing, because I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm pulling with like all my might to get these things out, and they just really don't want to come out. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I looked it up, and this is how every other car you do it, and this is how the guy in the video did it. So I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but in there, the spark plugs have never been changed. So they melted on to the plugs, like the end of these things. So I'm gonna need new wires, obviously, but it happened with every single one of them, so it really sucks. You can see it a little bit better here. It looks like it melted on. So I'm gonna need new wires. I don't know how to get the spark plugs out now because there's plastic melted around them. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Okay, so I got some compressed air, some spark plugs, and the wires, and a gapping tool, spark plug gap tool. So basically, what I found out was you have to pretty much just like break everything, get it out. So the person I watched They stuck a screwdriver in here, broke it all up, then blew in it with a straw to get everything out, but I just got compressed air because I'm not trying to do that. And then they like sucked it out with a vacuum. It's gonna take me a while. So basically you kind of just get in there and break it all up. And yeah, it's gonna take me a while. Okay, so I already got a lot out, but there's a lot in there, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm only on the first freaking one. Okay, I'm starting to think I want to do the other way that I saw it, which is the guy took a drill, he took the 5/8 socket, and he cut slits in the side, and he put the clutch really low and tightened it so that it would like break up all the pieces in there, instead of stabbing it with the screwdriver, which is taking 4 years. So I think I'm gonna try and do that if I can find a drill. Okay, this is the current setup I have going on. So got the socket and vice grip. I got my angle grinder with the cutting blade on it. And then so I'm planning on cutting some like grooves in it so that it'll cut up all this stuff, all the rubber in there. Then hopefully I can take it out. So I'm not gonna record this just because I have no idea what I'm doing and I need 2 hands. So yeah. Okay, I can't believe I didn't catch something on fire. But so this is what I got. Kind of cut, hopefully it still like holds the socket. But so now what I'm gonna do is set up this drill. Doesn't have to be this long at all. I don't know why it's doing it like this, but so I have the clutch set on like 3, and I'll show you guys why. So that when it's going and it stops, it just kind of stops like an impact, so that it doesn't tighten the spark plug and like rip it off. So I'm gonna see how this works really quick. Okay, so it actually really worked. There's a lot of stuff in here, and some of it already fell out. That's awesome. That's so much easier. Yeah, and I can actually see the plug now. So I'm gonna keep going with this. Finally got the plug out. It's pretty bad. Inside, it took me probably like an hour. I mean, you can see in there, I got it pretty clean. Anything else in there, I mean, I can't really get at this point. I have a replacement engine if I need it, so it's not a huge deal. At this point, it'd probably be freaking easier to swap it, but I'm making progress. I'm learning how to do it as we go. So these next 3 should come out a lot easier. Got the second one clean enough, so what I've been doing is just unscrewing it. And then once it's unscrewed all the way, I've been popping the end of it onto like this, onto the end of the spark plug, like this. And then pulling it up slowly while I have the vacuum there, so that the stuff doesn't fall in. And it's been working pretty good. This is the second one. See how the plastic just melted around it. This is the third one to come out. This fourth one actually looked the worst, so let's see how that goes. This is the last one. It had way more rubber around it, but I sucked it up right before it came out because it was about to fall. And you know what, to be honest, I don't know what happens if some stuff falls in there. You can see there's still stuff in there, and it's the same case with the other ones. This one's the worst, but I don't really know how to get that stuff out because it's not long enough for the vacuum. so I'm not too sure. All right, so next thing we have to do before we get started is gap our spark plugs. So I already know that the factory like setting for this one is it's 0.44 right here. What you're gonna want to do is, so it says 0.44 right here, and you take the opening of the spark plug and you see if it fits. So you can see now I adjusted it, I closed it and opened it to whatever it needed to be. It's too small, it barely doesn't fit the 0.45, but it fits in the, well, it's just a really bad way to show you guys, but it does fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these. All right, so I gapped these all up. I'm gonna go ahead and get them installed. Okay, got all these installed. Now, I don't really know how to tell which one is which, but I remembered on the other set that the shortest one was the closest to the distributor, so I kind of just set it up that way. And then I'm gonna check what the firing order is so I know which ones to put them on. So I know that the first one is the closest to the firewall because I just watched the video, but I do remember I watched another video where it was 2 was on the bottom, 1 was on the top, but I don't remember 3 and 4. So I'm just gonna plug in 2 right here. And then I'm gonna have to look into where 3 and 4 go. Okay, so I just saw 4 is the bottom one and 3 is the top one. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug these in. Yeah, these are really not very nice wires. They're pretty bad quality, but. All right, so I'm either gonna end up with a blown engine from the rubber, or a nice new car, or absolutely nothing's gonna change. So let's see. Okay, it started up way better than before. I'm gonna let it warm up because it drives fine. It doesn't stall when it's cold, it's only when it's warm, so I'm gonna let it warm up and then take it for a drive. All right, I revved it a few times and it seemed fine, so. Oh. Might have fixed it, guys. Oh man, I'd be so excited. Just gotta go around my street in case I stall. I mean, it seems like it's fine. It doesn't sound great, but it's driving. I gotta make sure there's coolant in it and everything, and the oil I should change, but it's not terrible for now. I don't really know what that clunking noise is. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But it's up to temperature and it's driving fine, so hey man, mission accomplished. I'm very happy about that. Yeah guys, so I fixed the stalling problem in the Civic. It was definitely a process, but I'm just glad we got it done. There's definitely a lot more to fix. This thing's not very nice, but I love it. It was cheap. I fixed it, so that's good enough for me.